We are Muskegon County at Work, spotlighting workers of local governments throughout our county, revealing what it takes to make our communities comfortable and safe. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Muskegon County Municipalities at Work. Once again, your host, DJ Hilson, for yet another episode, segment, if you will, of some interesting, I'll say, city government at work. And again, this whole series is to really help folks understand the different units of government throughout our county, and more importantly, the people that make the things work, and really get to deep dive a little bit into what's going on in your own community. So this is good stuff. Thanks for tuning in yet again. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Sharonda Carson from the City of Muskegon. Hello, Sharonda.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So I always like to have my guests talk a little bit about themselves to kind of open the conversation up. So could you give us a little bit of your background and how did you end up where you are today?
Okay, so my name is Sharonda Carson. I'm born and raised here in Muskegon. I am a Big Red. And I just love it here. I got my education, my bachelor's from Western Michigan University, and then I went on to obtain my master's from Capella University. And I always said that I would get my education and I would return home so that I can make an impact on my own community. I always felt like it was a disservice to our community to take that education and go build up another community. So I started out here at MOCAP, Muskegon Oceana Community Action Partnership. And that got me my feet wet a little bit on just working in the community and being able to give back and serve in a very impactful way.
And so now you transitioned to the City of Muskegon.
Yes.
And what do you do for the city?
So for the City of Muskegon, a lot of people don't know, I started off as an intern while I was in college. And I started off in the clerk's office, helping with the election and what have you. And then a spot opened up in community and neighborhood services as a community development specialist. And they hired me to build a lead program. And that lead program was $1 million program. I had never done anything like that before. And I just thought, well, this is going to be a challenge. So I built that program up in 2018, and it's very successful. Our goal was always 25 houses a year, and we pretty much meet that every year. And so far, our program is running the best in the state of Michigan. So we get a lot of accolades for the LEAD program, and it's one of my greatest achievements, I believe, aside from being the director of Community and Neighborhood Services. And what we do in Community and Neighborhood Services is we serve the community with home repairs. And so that may be roofing, electrical, siding, foundation, plumbing, those types of things. And aside from the LEAD program, we also have a Healthy Homes program that serves maybe in a maintenance type of capacity for homeowners. We have senior resources. We also have our home repair program, our home buyers assistance program. Sorry about that. And we rehab housing for low-income families. And so we definitely try to make sure our dollars are put forth in a way that is meaningful to the community.
So, man, a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So, let's talk a little bit about. Obviously, one of the things that at least I've noticed, and you've lived here longer than I have, but certainly the City of Muskegon has taken as part of its mission to improve neighborhoods, and
Yes.
that comes in a lot of different flavors, I'll say, right?
Yes.
So what you're describing here is one of those avenues in order to achieve that mission. So let's talk about how big is your department, first and foremost.
So our department is not that big, It is myself. I have a grants program coordinator, and 3 CDSs those are the community development specialists. And so between the 5 of us, we serve the entire city of Muskegon, and in some instances, we serve the county as well.
So again, small department doing big things.
Yes.
And I would imagine that, like yourself, the individuals that work with you have a similar passion and maybe even a similar vision as to making Muskegon, the city of Muskegon, the best place it can be.
Right.
So describe that for me. I mean, you're a lifelong resident. You've seen a lot of change in that lifetime. What's it like to be part of that?
It's an amazing feeling, especially when you get to see the joy that you bring to someone's life by doing things that they normally couldn't afford on their own. And that appreciation makes it worthwhile. And a lot of us that work in our department, we have that same spirit to serve the community. And sometimes, some people aren't as thankful, and which you kind of just don't focus in on that part of it and just focus on doing the best you can do at the end of the day. And so I think a lot of people think that, we're the government, we don't really care about the community, and maybe we're not using the funds in the best way, but we really do have a heart to serve our community. And I'm very fortunate to have a whole team of people who feel the same way that I feel, and which adds to that impact that we are able to deliver to the city of Muskegon residents.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the lead program. I'm assuming you're talking about eradicating, essentially, is it lead paint?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that entail? I mean, are you funded through grants? And so talk a little bit about what you do in order to make sure that homes are lead paint abated, and how that's done.
Sure. So, the lead abatement program consists of eradicating the lead or getting close to it as possible for homes that are pre-1978. A lot of our housing in Muskegon is older, and so what that'll look like is someone will come in and say they've heard about our program. Maybe their child has an elevated blood level, or they went to the doctor and found out that their kid had an elevated blood level, and the doctor said, hey, you may be interested in this program. What they'll do is they'll go to the County of Muskegon Public Health Office and receive that application. They'll complete the application, turn that application in, and then our staff would pick that up. And what we would do is we'll start off with a home visit, go in and just explain the program, prepare them for water testing, because water testing is very important. And then we set them up for the next step. The next step is testing. And so we'll have our risk assessors come out and they'll test the house. They'll test every wall, every floor, ceiling, window, porch. They're testing outside around the perimeter of the home. And once we have identified the lead is then it's turned into a report. That report goes to our contractors in a form of a spec. And it'll let them know where the lead is and how to abate it. Whether we're using interim controls or we're trying to do more of an abatement approach, which a lot of times we do. Sometimes we run into roadblocks when we stumble upon historic housing. Historic housing, you can't get rid of the lead in historic housing because there is a goal of preserving those housings as historic. So there's only interim things that we can do. We may be able to repair the windows, not replace them, or we may be able to patch up the paint that's on the house, on the siding, and just try to keep those characteristics of historic. So, that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of that program. Once the house has been abated, then there's another test that we done and make sure the contractors did it appropriately. The homeowner receives a report. They'll receive the clearance report, so they'll have that for their records. And then we kind of just try to keep up with the family for another 6 months just to make sure that if there's any elevated lead in the kids, that the levels have reduced. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's one of those things that you don't necessarily think of. I mean, I know a lot of people are more aware of, what lead-based paint does to a person, from a health perspective. And so the fact that the City of Muskegon has this program, and it's really just a matter of simply filling out an application, it sounds like, and letting you guys do the rest.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned the health implications, because a lot of people are in the dark about lead exposure and what it does to you. So it is really important, if you can, have lead abated out your home, and lead safe practices are used to do those services, because what it does is if it gets so high in a child, it could cause them to have to be hospitalized. And if they have to be hospitalized, they have to go through a process called chelation therapy to try to get rid of the lead that's in the blood. Another proponent of it is that lead hides in the body and it takes the place of iron. So a lot of people say, hey, I've lived in lead houses, I grew up in it, and nothing's wrong with me. But what happens is it hides there and it won't come out until they're an older individual, and then you'll start seeing it show itself in the bone and the teeth of an elderly person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So obviously the lesson here is that if you are living or have purchased a home pre-1978, that this is something, if you don't have records that it's already been done,
right,
you should probably take a look at it.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about, I'm assuming that with some of the house restoration, I shouldn't say restoration, but fixing that you do, you also tap into one of the biggest community assets that we have, which is the senior millage.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about how that has helped certainly that senior population.
We are so fortunate to have a program like the senior millage program, because it helps our seniors age in place, really. And we try to make sure that we're doing things that are long-term that can help them. Maybe it's a repair to the way that they use their bathroom, and they are able to assess a great way of bathing or something. We have done floors. We've done cabinets and countertops. We've done railings, make sure the doors are wide enough if there's a wheelchair accessibility feature that it needs. We've done a lot of things that have helped our seniors in a really great way. And so we're fortunate to have that program. We hope that it continues going forward, because it has been a great program, and especially because we can serve the entire county with that program.
Yeah, so I mean, when folks are assessing, millages, and it is a tax, certainly.
Yes.
But the return on investment, and that true for the city, and obviously throughout the county municipalities using those dollars to service that senior citizen population. Like you said, live in place.
Yes.
We want those folks to stick around and enjoy their community just like anybody else.
Exactly.
So how else, we've talked about the seniors, the lead, how else can people utilize the services that you have to offer?
I think another great program that we offer is our homebuyers assistance program. A lot of people are not aware that we can serve in that capacity, and we can help with down payment assistance up to $14,999. So it's a great program. Essentially, you have to be pre-approved to purchase a home in the City of Muskegon. And from that pre-approval, we can start the process. And once a person has identified the housing that they would like, we have a property checklist. We just want to make sure that the home won't need any services in the next 5 years, because they would be exempt from our normal home repair programs. So we want to make sure that that family has it's low income family. They don't have resources to immediately go in and fix a roof or a plumbing situation. So we want to go in and make sure that we're diligent about that before someone signs over and stuck into a contract that they can't get out of. We really use that program to work with the homeowners. We want them to be educated, so that there is a education proponent. We also try to work with the lenders and realtors, but we more so just make sure that the homeowner understands every step of the way what they're getting into. And we want them to have a great success. We don't want them to feel like they have to, they regret it. And it's a program that I think that is really needed, especially with housing and rental prices increasing. I'm very fortunate that we're able to provide that opportunity for our residents. We also rehab housing. So what we'll do is we'll find dilapidated housing, either through the land bank, or we'll work with realtors to secure housing. And we will go in and just completely gut and remodel the housing. And we will put things in there like washer, dryers, maybe even wash disposals and that type of thing. And that program is great. It's for low-income families as well. And so we'll remodel those housing, and then we'll put them back on the market in hopes that a low-income family would enjoy it.
So how have you found, obviously, the city of Muskegon is, I think, the largest city here in Muskegon County. Mm-hmm. And how have you found this, what I like to term is this sort of collaborative, cooperative spirit that mm-hmm. seems to exist in almost in perpetuity mm-hmm. in this community? Working with the other departments mm-hmm. within the city of Muskegon, how have you had a chance to work collaboratively with them, and do you guys work in conjunction with one another? How has that been?
Yes, we do. You mean our internal departments?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So CNS is an abbreviation for Community Neighborhood Services, and CNS is a part of a division. It's called Development Services. So the makeup is planning, economic development, and community neighborhood services. And we all work together to do things like, the planning department handles all the zoning, and if there's any fencing, driveways, they take care of all of that, make sure the ordinances are being complied with. Our economic development team does the business side of things, and so we all kind of cohesively work together within that division. Outside of that, say for instance our DPW department, we work with them in our lead program because they will go in and do the water testing for us. Safe Built, they're our go-to for inspections. If we want to find out anything about a home, we will go to our inspections department. We also work with just various departments, the finance department, when it comes to our budgets and what have you, processing our payments, treasury. There's just different aspects of that. The clerk's office, they are really good with making sure our public notices are out there, and when it's time to open the bid, they are the ones that will receive our bids for us for any jobs that we put out there in the community. The police department helps keeps our homes safe, the ones that we are rehabbing. They will go by and make sure that nobody is breaking into those homes, and if they are breaking into them, they will make sure that they are acting as well. So we pretty much work with all the departments cohesively.
How have you found outside of the city, other municipal governments, mm-hmm. county? Same question. Collaborative, cooperative. I mean,
Yes.
Are there other municipalities that have similar departments like you are running right now?
Yeah. For instance, the Norton Shores local government and Muskegon Heights. We all are part of a. That's how we receive our CDBG and essentially our home entitlement. We receive it because the communities combined make up a certain percentage. And so we work together we work with fair housing to ensure that people are properly trained and no fair housing violations occur. And if they do, they work with addressing those. And so the three of our communities put our budgets together to ensure that that's taken care of. And they provide us with a quarterly report to let us know how we're doing. And then we can always rely on each other if we're stuck on things, or somebody is doing something and they may be the expert. And so we need to reach out to them, or they need to touch bases with us. And so we kind of work collaboratively with that. We also work with the community, the continuum of care. And so that is a great way for agencies to get together to find out what everyone's doing and figure out where the gaps are so that we can strengthen our impact.
So for any young person that's watching this episode, and I hope a lot of them are.
I hope so too.
You mentioned in your opening how you started out as an intern.
Mm-hmm.
How can somebody, if somebody's like, man, I really love my community like Sharonda does, I really want to learn more about what this is all about. Are there internship opportunities? Are there part-time job opportunities where the young people, I'll say the up-and-comers, if you will,
right,
where they can learn about how wonderful these different units of government are? Yes,
actually, the city tries to every year hire, if the budget allows, an intern, and it's a paid internship.
Okay.
And so I would just advise anybody that is seeking that type of work to take advantage of those intern opportunities, because they aren't just things that you just do just to get experience. They may be an opportunity for you to grow within the agency. I know for me, I thought I should not be doing an internship. I'm college educated and what have you, but it really was a great opportunity to grow within the organization and be able to serve in the capacity that I do now. So, I would say that if anybody is looking to serve in that capacity, they usually do it around the summer months, and it's for college students. You have to attend a college. You have to be a city resident to receive the internship, and it's a great opportunity.
Awesome. Well, this has been fantastic, and it highlights for me how important these local units of government are, in particular when the drive and the goal is to make the community better for everyone.
Right.
I mean, not everyone qualifies for the various programs you talked about, but if we're getting folks improving their lives and their living situations, it's better for everybody.
Right.
It's better for everybody. What has been one of the I'll say, since you've kind of lived your life here, what's been one of the highlights for you, the improvements that you've seen in that time span that really makes you excited about what you're doing?
For me, I just love seeing downtown. I remember when it was when we had the mall, and it was just like the place to be, and then see that go away and seeing that area be underused, and seeing that there was a few people who had this vision for that particular area and see where it came from and where it is now. That's exciting. To know that in some shape, way, or form, I may be a part of that, that's exciting for me. To go downtown and see everybody enjoying themselves and having a good time where it wasn't that way a few years ago, 10 years ago. That's rewarding. And also our beaches. I just think that we have been blessed with a great beach, and to see all the development happening there and all the activities that you can access now is just simply amazing.
Well, Sharonda, I want to thank you for, I loved how you opened this by saying, I didn't want to take my talents and have them used elsewhere other than the community that I grew up in. I think that is super cool.
Thank you.
So thank you for having that sort of determination that you were coming back. And I think hopefully more people are seeing the value in doing just exactly what you did. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that.
Last thing I want you to touch on, these various programs, how best to learn about them, to maybe get some questions answered or to see whether you qualify. Where's the best place to go?
So you can find everything you want to know on the city's website under Community and Neighborhood Services. We outline our services. We also have a way that people can apply online now. So that's really cool. Or you can stop in person and get an application that way. But it's pretty explicit. It tells you what you have to do to qualify, what documents are needed. And what we do, once we receive an application, we have a goal to respond back within 48 hours to let people know if they have been selected or not. And then from there, within a week's time, maybe no more than 2 weeks, someone is at the house to assess the home and make sure that we are being as prompt as possible, as well as assessing the whole house, even though they may call in and say, hey, my water's not working properly, but we get there and they may be a good candidate for our lead program. So we're taking a holistic approach when addressing housing in our community so that we can make sure that people are receiving the best service in going forward.
Well, I think that's a great point to sort of end this on, is that people think of government and they think of, well, it's going to take months, it's going to take longer than I care to wait. And here we are talking about some really critically important things being offered to the City of Muskegon residents and the prompt response that you can expect.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well,
Sharonda,
thank you so much again for joining me today. Very, very insightful. And thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Well, folks, that wraps up this episode. Keep tuning in as we explore the various avenues of municipal government here in our great county of Muskegon. As always, it's a pleasure to bring these programs to you, and they don't happen without the ingenuity of one Mr. Michael Vogus.